Hello everyone, it is Storm Ranger, and today, back with a brand new Fortnite video. In today's Fortnite video, we're going over the brand new Endgame challenges that just got released to Fortnite Battle Royale. On screen now, you can see what the Endgame challenges are. These Endgame challenges have a bunch of really cool rewards, with the best being a Quinjet glider you get if you complete 10 of these challenges. Personally, I love this glider and I really want to get it. I'm sure you want to get it too. So because of that, in this video, I'll be going over how to complete all of these challenges. Now, unfortunately, at the time making this video, only 4 of these challenges are released. The next set of challenges will be released in 2 days, with the next being in 4 days, and the final set being released in 6 days. However, thanks to @Lucas7Yoshi_ on Twitter, a Fortnite leaker, we know what all of these challenges will be because he was able to find them in the files. On screen now, you can see what all the weekly challenges are going to be. So because of that, in this video, I'll be going over every single one of these challenges, along with my overall advice for how you can complete these challenges fast, so you can unlock the Quinjet ladder as soon as possible. So anyways, there are a bunch of really cool skins that are coming out because of this event. And when you're buying those skins, make sure to use code STORMS in the item shop. Every time you make a purchase, you'll be helping the channel. Also, if this video helps you out, feel free to let me know with a like rating. If we could hit 250 likes for this video, that would be fantastic, and that would make my day. Last but not least, just like to remind you, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. All you have to do is push that button in the bottom right corner of the video. That would really help me out a ton. Anyways, once again, on screen now, you can see what all of these challenges are. Now, all of these challenges must be completed in the brand new Endgame LTM. If you didn't know, the brand new Endgame LTM is an LTM that's part of the Endgame event. Since the Endgame event will be going on for 10 days, the LTM, along with these challenges, will also be going on for the next 10 days. The Endgame LTM is essentially an enhanced version of Team Rumble. There are 2 teams of 20 people, a Thanos team and an Avengers team. And for most of the game, when someone on either side dies, they can respawn. So the goal for the Thanos team is to collect all of the Infinity Crystals for the Infinity Gauntlet. Now the goal of the Avengers team is to prevent the Thanos team from doing so. If the Thanos team cannot collect all the crystals in time, they will lose the ability to respawn, and once everyone on that team's dead, the game is over and the Avengers team wins. However, if the Thanos team is successful in getting all the Infinity Stones for the Gauntlet, then nobody on the Avengers team can respawn, and once the Thanos team eliminates everyone on the Avengers team, then the Thanos team wins the game. To make this game even more interesting, everyone on the Thanos team automatically has 2 blasters that allows them to blast the Avengers team. Differently, everyone on the Avengers team has a Hawkeye Bow that they get early on in the game using a treasure map. In addition, those who are on the Avengers team have the ability to find other power-ups in chests. This includes Iron Man's armor, Captain America's shield, and Thor's hammer. Now, since all these challenges do take place in this mode, it is very important that you know how to play this mode. In fact, I recommend you play a few games of this mode before you start the challenges, just so you have an idea of how to play the game. Personally, I had to play this game 3 times before I was able to have a good enough idea of how to play the LTM to know how to teach you guys how to complete these challenges. Anyways, for this section of the video, I'll be going over every single one of these challenges. Once again, on screen now, you can see what these challenges are. Now, the first of these challenges is to deal damage while hovering with Iron Man's repulsors. If you can complete this challenge, you'll be rewarded 500 XP. Now, this challenge is very easy because Iron Man's repulsors is a very powerful weapon. The way you acquire this weapon is from finding it in a chest. Keep in mind, you must be on the Avengers team to be able to find this weapon. Once you have this weapon, you're able to use it to fly into the air. You're also able to use it to attack opponents. Now, dealing 1,000 damage with this weapon is ridiculously easy because it has auto aim on it. Yes, if you are in proximity of an opponent and you aim the weapon anywhere near the opponent, it will automatically log onto that person. Then, once you pull the trigger to shoot, if it's logged onto an opponent, every single time, it will hit that opponent and deal 35 damage. Because of that, you only must hit an opponent 30 times with this weapon in order to complete this challenge. This makes this challenge very easy. So the next challenge is to collect 3 Infinity Stones. And if you can do that, you'll be rewarded a very cool endgame themed loading screen. Now, in order to complete this challenge, you must be on the Thanos team. All you must do in order to complete this challenge is walk up to a crystal and then hold the button you would use to open a chest. And after doing that, you would have successfully collected an Infinity Stone. Anyways, this challenge might be a little bit difficult because it can be hard to get near an Infinity Stone, especially since the other team will be doing whatever it takes in order to prevent you from touching the Infinity Stone. Because of that, I recommend you play with your friends. If you're playing with your friends, then your friends can cover you while you're collecting the Infinity Stone. That'll make completing this challenge a lot easier. So the next challenge is to play 7 matches of Endgame. If you can do this, you'll be awarded a banner of Captain America's shield. Now, this challenge is very straightforward. All you have to do is play a few matches of Endgame, and if you can do that, you will complete this challenge. Just keep in mind, you do need to play these games till the very end, and you cannot leave the game prematurely. If you leave the game prematurely, then you will not be rewarded the credit for completing this challenge. So the next challenge is to deal 1000 damage from throwing Thors Stormbreaker Axe. And if you can complete this challenge, you'll be rewarded the Stormbreaker Axe emoticon. Now this challenge is also very easy. All you have to do is be playing in a game and then throw Thors Stormbreaker Axe at an opponent. They should be relatively easy to hit because, if I'm not mistaken, which I might be, Thor's axe does have auto aim on it, meaning if you throw it near an opponent, then it will hit that opponent. It also does a lot of damage, so dealing 1000 damage shouldn't be very hard. Now remember, you must be on the Avengers team in order to be able to find this axe. This axe is found inside of chests. Because of that, I recommend you land somewhere where you know well to make sure you're able to get that and Iron Man's repulsors early on in the game so you can complete both these challenges in the same game. Anyways, if you follow my advice, this challenge should be very easy to complete. And the next challenge is to deal 100 damage while flying with the Chitauri jetpack. And you can complete this challenge, you'll be rewarded 500 XP. So if you didn't know, the Chitauri jetpack is a jetpack that you are automatically given if you are on the Thanos team. So because of that, you must be on the Thanos team in order to be able to complete this challenge. Now this challenge is very easy to complete because you only must deal 100 damage. 100 damage isn't very much considering every player has several hundred health. Now if you're on the Thanos team, you will have two weapons. One weapon will deal 75 damage on each hit, and then the other will deal 100 damage on each hit. The one that does 100 damage on each hit is also a weapon that does splash damage. You do not need to directly hit an opponent, but instead only hit near an opponent to be able to deal that damage. So because of that, I recommend you fly into the air and then shoot that weapon as close as you can to a group of opponents. And if you do that, you're bound to hit at least one opponent. In case my description was kind of vague, on screen now you can see what I'm talking about. As you can see, if you do this, dealing 100 damage should be very easy to do. So the next challenge is to get eliminations in 5 different matches of Endgame. And if you can do this, you'll be rewarded the Avengers spray. Now this challenge should be once again very easy. All you need to do is get an elimination in a match of Endgame. Just keep in mind, it's a lot easier to get eliminations when you are on the Avengers team. Because of that, I recommend you do not play the game till the end if you are on the Thanos team. You should simply leave the match early on and then go into another game so you can be on the Avengers team. And since the Avengers weapons do all have auto aim on them, it should be very easy to get an elimination using the Avengers weapons regardless of your skill level. So the next challenge is to deal 1000 damage with Captain America's shield. And if you can complete this challenge, you'll be rewarded the Captain America's shield emoticon. Now this challenge, just like the challenge with Thor's hammer and Iron Man's repulsors, is very easy because Captain America's shield has auto aim on it. And whenever you hit someone with Captain America's shield, it does 175 damage. Now the auto aim on Captain America's shield is very interesting because Captain America's shield can bounce off of objects. Because of that, if you throw it anywhere near an opponent, chances are it'll bounce off of an object and hit that opponent. And since it does 175 damage, all you need to do is hit an opponent 6 or 7 times and you will be able to complete this challenge. Just remember, Captain America's shield is only found in chests, and you must be on the Avengers team to be able to find the shield. So because of that, I recommend you leave a game when you're on the Thanos team, and land somewhere where you know the location of all the different chests. So the next challenge is to deal 500 damage with the Chitauri laser rifle. And if you can complete this challenge, you'll be rewarded 500 XP. Now this challenge shouldn't be very hard, because the Chitauri laser rifle is a very powerful weapon. Just keep in mind that you must be on the Thanos team in order to have this weapon. When you're on the Thanos team, you automatically spawn with this weapon. Unfortunately, unlike the Avengers weapons, it does not have auto aim on it, so it may be a little challenging to hit an opponent with the laser rifle. However, it shouldn't be too difficult because it's such a powerful weapon. You're able to shoot a ton of rounds back to back without needing to worry about reloading the weapon. Because of that, hitting 75 damage to opponents shouldn't be too difficult. Just keep in mind, since the laser rifle does 75 damage on each hit, you do need to hit an opponent around 7 or 8 times in order to complete this challenge. As long as you're able to do that, this challenge shouldn't be very hard to complete at all. So the next challenge is to win matches of Endgame as a Chitauri or Thanos. And if you can do that, you'll be rewarded the Infinity Gauntlet spray. Now, this challenge is perhaps the hardest out of all of these challenges because this requires you to actually win. And to make matters worse, you must be on Thanos' side, which is the team that often loses. So anyways, if you're like me and only want to get the Quinjet glider, I recommend you skip this challenge. However, if you're motivated to getting that really cool Infinity Gauntlet spray, I recommend you just play a bunch of different matches. Remember, this is a large team game mode, meaning that your contribution to the team is not very important, especially since players are constantly leaving the game. Because of that, no matter what your skill level is, if you play enough matches, you'll definitely be able to complete this challenge. In fact, if you want for this challenge, you could just AFK the entirety of a game. When you're in the Fortnite lobby, just hit the play now button on this LTM. Then once you load into the game, make sure that you are on the Thanos team. If you're not on the Thanos team, just leave and join another game to see if you'll be on the Thanos team for that game. Once you're on the Thanos team, just walk away and come back to your computer in around 15 minutes once the match is complete. If you won the game, that is great because that would help you with this challenge. If you lost the game, that's okay because you can always play another game. Anyways, if you follow my advice, this very long challenge should not be too hard to complete. So the next challenge is to deal 500 damage within 10 seconds of grappling with Hawkeyes Bow. And if you can complete this challenge, you'll be rewarded 500 XP. Now this challenge is also a rather difficult challenge. Now in my opinion, this challenge is actually worse than the previous challenge because there's actually some skill involved in it. However, remember, in this game mode, there isn't too much skill involved because of the auto-aim on the Avengers weapons. Because of that, I recommend when you're playing a game of this LTM, make sure you spend a few minutes so you can get the Avengers weapons in addition to Hawkeyes Bow. If you have the Avengers weapons, since it has auto-aim on it, this shouldn't be very hard to complete. Once you have all the weapons that you need, I recommend you simply grapple with Hawkeyes Bow near an area where there's a lot of fighting. Then once you land there, you use your Avengers weapons to deal as much damage as you can. I personally recommend you use Iron Man's repulsors because if you're flying with those repulsors, your cursor will automatically lock on to anybody who is near you. So anyways, if you grapple with Hawkeyes Bow a few times in a populated area, and then immediately go to fighting players afterwards, this challenge shouldn't be too hard to complete, and you should be able to complete this challenge within only a few minutes. So the next challenge is to deal 500 damage with a Chitauri energy launcher. And if you can do this, you'll be rewarded 500 XP. Now, in order to complete this challenge, you must be on the Thanos team, because you will not be able to get the Chitauri energy launcher unless you are on the Thanos team. Since the Chitauri energy launcher is 100 damage on each hit of an opponent, you'll need to hit an opponent 5 times. Also remember, this is a splash weapon, so my best recommendation is to fire this weapon into a crowd of a lot of people. If you do this, you're bound to hit at least one person. Just do this a few more times and you would have completed this challenge. If you do this, this challenge should be very easy and shouldn't be too hard to complete. So the next and final challenge out of all of the Endgame challenges is to win 3 matches of Endgame as the hero team. If you can do this, you'll be rewarded the Avengers banner. Now, my advice for this challenge is identical to my advice for the challenge that required you to win when you're on the Thanos team. All you have to do, play a few matches of this game, and try your best to win. You could either AFK, or you could try and complete the other challenges while playing this LTM. However, since it's a large team game mode, you can just leave the winning up to your teammates and don't need to worry about winning yourself. This challenge should be slightly easier to complete than the previous challenge requiring you to win matches, because the Avengers team is slightly easier to win on, just because their power-ups are so powerful. Anyways, because this challenge is so largely depending on your teammates, this challenge should be very easy to complete skill-wise. So anyways, those were all of the endgame challenges for the Endgame LTM. So my overall advice for completing these challenges is to play a few matches of this game naturally. When playing this game naturally and you're on the Avengers team, make sure to land somewhere naturally where you know the location of all the chests. That way you'll be able to get Thor's hammer, Captain America's shield, and Iron Man's repulsor really easily. Also, don't forget to follow the map that you spawn with in your inventory so you can make sure you can get Hawkeyes Bow too. Then make sure you use all 3 of those weapons throughout the game so you can kill opponents and deal damage with all of those weapons. Now, if you are on the Thanos team, my best recommendation is to focus on trying to hit opponents using the 2 weapons that you spawn with. Also, don't forget to use your jetpack. It can be a lot easier to hit opponents with something like the energy gun if you use a jetpack. So anyways, if you follow my advice for when you're on these 2 teams, these challenges don't only take you a few games to complete and shouldn't take you any longer than an hour or maybe 2 hours to complete. So anyways, those were all of the endgame challenges for the Endgame LTM. I really hope this video was able to help you all out, and I really hope you found it entertaining. If that's the case, feel free to let me know with a like rating on this video. Remember, our like goal is 250 likes. Also, if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Just push that button in the bottom right hand corner of the video. And last but not least, don't forget to use code STORMS in the item shop when you're buying the Marvel themed cosmetics in the item shop. Seriously, I have no idea how much that helps me out. Every single one of you guys who use code STORMS really means a lot to me and really helps me out so much. Anyways, with all that being said, that has been how to complete all the endgame challenges for Fortnite Season 8. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.